Question 1. A media production company stores large video files in an Amazon S3 bucket in account A. A third-party video processing company, account B, needs temporary read-only access to specific objects. The access should be granted securely without sharing credentials. Access should be revoked automatically after a specified time. Which solution should you implement? Options: A. Create an IAM user in account A and share access keys with account B. B. Use an S3 bucket policy to grant read access to account B's IAM role. C. Generate pre-signed URLs for the required objects and share them with account B. D. Enable S3 cross-region replication, CRR, to copy data to account B's bucket. Correct answer: C. Generate pre-signed URLs for the required objects and share them with account B. Explanation: Pre-signed URLs provide temporary, controlled access to specific objects. They automatically expire after the defined time, preventing long-term exposure. No need for complex IAM policy configurations between accounts. Why not other options? Option A. Sharing access keys is insecure and violates AWS best practices. Option B. Bucket policies provide long-term access instead of temporary access. Option D. CRR replicates data but does not provide temporary access control. Question 2. A financial institution needs a secure, low-latency connection between its on-premises data center and AWS. Data transfer should be private, not over the internet. Latency should be minimal, and bandwidth should be high. Traffic should not go through a third-party provider. Which AWS service best meets these requirements? Options: A. AWS Direct Connect. B. AWS Site-to-Site VPN. C. AWS Transit Gateway. D. VPC peering. Correct answer: A. AWS Direct Connect. Explanation: Direct Connect provides a dedicated private connection to AWS, ensuring minimal latency. Higher bandwidth compared to VPN, reducing congestion issues. Avoids using public internet, increasing security. Why not other options? Option B. Site-to-site VPN runs over the public internet, increasing latency. Option C. Transit Gateway helps route traffic between VPCs but does not connect on-premises directly. Option D. VPC peering is only for VPC to VPC communication, not for on-premises. Question 3. A social media startup is running a photo-sharing website on Amazon EC2. The application experiences unpredictable traffic spikes. High availability and automatic scaling are required. The architecture should minimize costs. Which solution is the most cost-effective and scalable? Options: A. Use an elastic load balancer, ELB, with an auto-scaling group of EC2 instances. B. Manually increase EC2 instance sizes when traffic increases. C. Deploy a fixed number of large EC2 instances with an application load balancer. D. Use a single EC2 instance with Amazon RDS for storing user uploads. Correct answer: A. Use an elastic load balancer, ELB, with an auto-scaling group of EC2 instances. Explanation: Auto-scaling automatically adds/removes instances based on demand. Elastic load balancer distributes traffic across healthy instances. Prevents over-provisioning and optimizes costs. Why not other options? Option B. Manual scaling is inefficient and slow. Option C. Fixed instances lead to wasted resources during low traffic. Option D. A single EC2 instance creates a single point of failure. Question 4. A global e-commerce company is running an Amazon RDS MySQL database. The database serves both real-time transactions and analytics workloads. High availability and automatic failover are critical. Read performance should be optimized for reporting queries. Which architecture is the most efficient? Options: A. Enable multi-AZ deployment for automatic failover. B. Use read replicas for analytics queries. C. Use both multi-AZ and read replicas together. D. Manually create database snapshots for failover. Correct answer, C. Use both multi-AZ and read replicas together. Explanation: multi-AZ ensures high availability by providing a standby instance in another AZ. Read replicas improve read performance by offloading read queries. Combining both ensures both availability and performance. Why not other options? Option A, multi-AZ only helps with failover, not read performance. Option B, read replicas improve performance but do not provide failover. Option D, snapshots do not provide real-time failover. Question 5. A log analytics company processes millions of log files daily from various sources. Logs should be ingested, processed, and stored in real time. The solution should be fully serverless. Logs need to be analyzed using SQL-like queries. Which AWS architecture best fits this use case? Options: A. Use AWS Lambda to process logs and store them in Amazon S3, then query with Athena. B. Use EC2 instances with an ELK, Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, Stack. C. Deploy an on-premises Hadoop cluster and send processed logs to AWS. D. Use Amazon RDS MySQL for storing logs and process them with SQL queries. Correct answer: A. Use AWS Lambda to process logs and store them in Amazon S3, then query with Athena. Explanation: Lambda processes logs in real time without managing servers. S3 provides scalable, low-cost storage. Athena enables SQL-like queries directly on S3 data without ETL pipelines. Why not other options? Option B, managing ELK on EC2 requires operational overhead. Option C, on-premises Hadoop clusters are expensive and hard to scale. Option D, RDS is not optimized for storing large-scale unstructured logs. Question 6. A global e-commerce platform wants to deploy its web application across multiple AWS regions for low latency for global users. Automatic failover in case of a regional outage. Cost-effective architecture. Which AWS solution should you implement? Options: A. Use Route 53 with latency-based routing and deploy the application in multiple AWS regions. B. Deploy the application in a single AWS region and use a CloudFront distribution for caching. C. Set up a multi-AZ deployment of the application in a single AWS region. D. Use an application load balancer, ALB, with cross-region load balancing enabled. Correct answer: A. Use Route 53 with latency-based routing and deploy the application in multiple AWS regions. Explanation: Route 53 latency-based routing directs users to the closest AWS region. Deploying the application in multiple regions ensures high availability, reduces downtime and enhances the user experience globally. Why not other options? Option B, CloudFront caches content but does not ensure full failover. Option C, multi-AZ provides high availability but is limited to one AWS region. Option D, ALB does not provide global load balancing across regions. Question 7. A financial company has an on-premises application that needs secure access to an Amazon RDS PostgreSQL instance. Low latency connectivity is required. Database should not be exposed to the public internet. Minimal changes to security configurations. Which solution meets these requirements? Options: A. Create a VPN connection and allow inbound traffic to the RDS instance from the on-premises network. B. Make the RDS instance publicly accessible and restrict access using security groups. C. Use AWS Direct Connect to establish a private network link between the on-premises environment and AWS. D. Deploy a bastion host in the VPC and connect to RDS via SSH tunneling. Correct answer: C. Use AWS Direct Connect to establish a private network link between the on-premises environment and AWS. Explanation: Direct Connect provides a dedicated, private, and low-latency connection. Does not expose the database to the public internet. More stable and reliable compared to a VPN. Why not other options? Option A, VPN introduces latency and is not as reliable as Direct Connect. Option B, publicly accessible RDS is a security risk. Option D, Bastion host is used for administrative access, not database connections. Question 8. A social media platform collects user activity logs and needs to process events in real time. The system must scale automatically based on event volume. Minimal operational overhead. Process millions of events per second efficiently. Which AWS service should be used? Options: A. Amazon Kinesis data streams with AWS Lambda for real-time processing. B. Amazon SQS with EC2 instances processing the messages. C. Amazon RDS with stored procedures handling the events. D. Amazon S3 with a scheduled AWS Lambda function to process logs. Correct answer: A. Amazon Kinesis data streams with AWS Lambda for real-time processing. Explanation: Kinesis handles high-throughput, real-time data streaming. AWS Lambda scales automatically based on incoming events. Fully managed and cost-effective for real-time analytics. Why not other options? Option B. SQS is designed for message queues, not real-time streaming. Option C. RDS is not suitable for real-time event processing at scale. Option D. S3 plus Lambda is a batch-based approach, not real-time. Question 9. A healthcare company needs a disaster recovery plan for its critical database running in AWS. Recovery time objective, RTO, equals 15 minutes. Recovery point objective, RPO, equals 5 minutes. Solution must be cost-effective. Which AWS solution meets these requirements? Options: A. Enable Amazon RDS multi-AZ replication. B. Use Amazon RDS read replicas in another AWS region. C. Create manual RDS snapshots every 5 minutes. D. Replicate RDS to another AWS region using AWS DMS. Correct answer: D. Replicate RDS to another AWS region using AWS DMS. Explanation: AWS Database Migration Service, DMS, enables continuous replication to another AWS region. Ensures low RPO, 5 minutes, and fast RTO, 15 minutes. Cross-region replication enhances disaster recovery. Why not other options? Option A. Multi-AZ provides high availability but not cross-region. Option B. Read replicas do not support failover automatically. Option C. Manual snapshots do not meet RTO/RPO requirements. Question 10. A startup wants to host a static website with low cost, scalability and high availability. No server management. Which AWS service is the best solution? Options: A. Amazon S3 with static website hosting enabled. B. Deploy an Apache web server on an EC2 instance. C. Host the website on Amazon RDS with a MySQL backend. D. Use AWS Lambda with API gateway to serve the web pages. Correct answer: A. Amazon S3 with static website hosting enabled. Explanation: S3 is a highly available, scalable, and cost-effective solution for static websites. No server maintenance is required. Can integrate with CloudFront for global content delivery. Why not other options? Option B. EC2 requires server management and is costly. Option C. RDS is a database service, not a web hosting solution. Option D. Lambda and API gateway are not designed for serving static content.